is CTV News.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. New tonight, Windsor police are investigating a possible new development in the killing of 16-year-old Shane Cushman. Cushman died after a stabbing Sunday evening with an 18-year-old now charged with first-degree murder. Tonight, officers saying a home linked to the investigation was hit by pellet gunfire Monday night, and they're looking into whether it's connected to Cushman's murder. Police say two masked suspects fired what's believed to be a pellet gun at a home on Goyo Street just after 9 Monday night. Investigators say the suspects fled north before getting into a white Ford Flex, seen here. Anyone who recognizes the vehicle or has information is urged to contact Windsor Police or Crime Stoppers. Now, CTV's Robert Lothian has more on the victim, the accused, and this developing investigation.
16-year-old Shane Cushman is described by friends as kind, silly, and a bit shy.
He was one of my best friends.
CTV News has confirmed Cushman was the victim of a stabbing on Sunday evening. Police say it happened on Tecumseh Road East near McDougall Street. Cushman died in hospital. Friend Caleb Mativier tells CTV News Cushman's life will always be remembered.
I'm getting a tattoo on my hand to symbolize the memory with a couple of other my friends that are really close to him.
There's no reason a 16-year-old should go out like that.
In a GoFundMe, Cushman's family hopes the 16-year-old's death brings more attention to youth fighting and violence in Windsor and reminds people that this isn't something to ignore.
Forever 16.
Police have now charged 18-year-old Hatem Hamid with first-degree murder, uttering threats to cause death, and wearing a face mask in the commission of an offense. Authorities say he was arrested at a home on Goyo Street less than an hour after the Sunday stabbing. Robert Lothian, CTV News.
And we're learning more tonight about the fatal shooting outside a Lambton College bar after the prime suspect was arrested in London Monday night. CTV's Brian Bicknell has the latest.
A quiet evening became anything but in this northwest London neighborhood Monday. Around 6:20 p.m., London police descended on 65 Ranchwood Crescent, arresting 24-year-old Kiao Do, the prime suspect in a fatal shooting in Sarnia.
Maybe 3 drones in the air, skating around the area and stuff like that. Had the back street blocked off and stuff. There was a bulletproof SUV over here with 5 guys, armed personnel, masks. Helmets and stuff like that, huge guns.
I heard them announcing the name and I seen the guy walk out of the place, finally surrender. I said to my son, I'll bet you it's the guy they're looking for from the Sarnia shooting. And sure enough, it was.
Speaking to reporters and members of victim Dane Nisbet's family on Tuesday, Sarnia police say investigators learned Doe was believed to be in hiding at the London residence. That's when they reached out to London police.
The residence was contained, and with Mr. Doe ultimately surrendering to the police presence that was there. He was placed under arrest and turned over to the Sarnia Police Service for transport back here.
The case goes back to April 10th when Sarnia police responded to Lambton College just before 1 a.m. after reports of shots being fired outside a campus bar. 20-year-old Dane Nisbet died in hospital of gunshot wounds, while 3 of his friends suffered non-life-threatening injuries. In the following days, 3 people were arrested in connection with the shooting. The arrest warrant for Doe was Canada-wide, but the investigation took police to several local locations, including recovery of a weapon in Point Edward, to the arrests of now 4 individuals in Sarnia and London. Also charged with second-degree murder is 23-year-old Odom Richard Bunn, who remains in custody, while 2 Sarnia residents are charged with various offenses, including accessory after the fact. In the meantime, Doe appeared in court Tuesday morning. He was remanded in custody and is scheduled to appear in court May 1st. Brian Bicknell, CTV News, Sarnia.
Back in Windsor tonight, Riverside Drive has reopened after a portion was closed through the afternoon rush hour after a crash. Emergency crews were on scene near Langlois around 1:30 this afternoon. 2 SUVs were involved. The impact sending debris onto the nearby park's walking trail. At least 1 person was taken to hospital. Police say no life-threatening injuries. The road reopened by 8 p.m. A Windsor City Councillor wants the province to take a harder look at how some addiction medications are being prescribed amid concerns some are being diverted and sold on the street. CTV's Bob Belichico reports.
We're certainly bearing the brunt of the effects of what's happening out there.
Which is why City Councillor Ronaldo Agostino wants the city to send a letter to the Ministry of Health calling for a review on how some clinics prescribe and dispense treatments.
I don't think any of us don't want to see the work that's being done. We just need to do a better job at it.
Agostino raised concerns about what he describes as variety store-style care, where patients can receive prescriptions from a healthcare expert virtually at a local pharmacy. Drugs which are sometimes resold on the street for something stronger, according to local leaders.
We just have to be honest with the situation. Let's look at what we're dealing with here and try and find solutions that help the businesses downtown, make people feel safe and comfortable coming downtown, but at the same time try and help the people who need the help for which these pharmacies are in business.
London City Councillor David Ferreira sent a letter to regulators and the Ministry of Health in February without a response. His motion goes to Council for approval Tuesday night.
We're going to be writing a letter basically stating that everything that I had in my motion, everything that I really kind of spoke to here, and we're going to be bringing that letter to the Ministry of Health and the regulators, and we're going to be advocating on behalf of London and on behalf of the rest of the province, because this is a province-wide thing.
They can't attack a system that's actually trying to help. So the thing that I don't know if people understand is people will come in. There is not enough addiction doctors across the province.
Pharmacist Tim Brady says treatment is not as simple as someone in front of an iPad getting medicine and then moving on. While he acknowledges there's bad actors everywhere, including in this scenario, there are measures in place to guard from abuse.
They actually have to, before they do any of the treatment, they actually have to do a urine sample so that they know what the person's been taking. So this isn't a shot in the dark. And a lot of times there's rules for the patients.
Brady says pharmacies will go where there is business. Clamping down on pharmacies is only part of the solution, he says.
We do know for a fact that if we don't make it convenient, the people won't get any type of treatment. And that's really problematic, because then the drug abuse gets really out of control. You're going to find them way more often eating up our local services, our hospital times, and everything else.
Bob Belichico, CTV News.
In LaSalle tonight, Town Council has approved public consultations on an expansion to the Vollmer complex. The proposal includes a new gymnasium, aerobics room, and expanded fitness space. As town staff say, demand continues to grow. Council signed off on a $250,000 consultation and design phase ahead of public meetings this June. The full expansion could cost around $40 million, but the mayor says getting the project closer to shovel-ready could help secure provincial funding.
It would be great if we could get some assistance to be able to expand this facility, to be able to grow with the province requests. You know, more houses, more people. Well, more people need more facilities, and they want recreation, and they want day camps, and those are things that we're at the point now where we don't have any room for them.
In Chatham-Kent, Council has approved a multi-million-dollar waste-to-energy project, but not without pushback over public consultation. CTV's Chris Campbell has that story.
The waste-energy project is fantastic for our community.
Chatham-Kent Council has given the green light to move forward with a waste-to-energy project that supporters say could transform how the municipality handles wastewater and generate new revenue. Mayor Darren Caniff says the project with Greenfield Global positions the community for the future.
This is an exciting opportunity for Chatham-Kent. It makes a statement that we're open for business, that public-private partnerships, in my mind, are the way to move forward.
The municipality is expected to invest about $16 million to the $137 million project, with projections of more than $120 million in returns over 30 years. Caniff says the approval comes with conditions designed to reduce financial risk, including securing contracts and revenue streams before moving ahead. But not everyone is convinced the project should have been approved yet. Ward 6 Councillor Allison Story pushed to delay the vote.
For me, the biggest concern is the lack of public consultation. Our tax dollars will be part of this proposal for literally decades. And that, to me, has to mean that the public, the taxpayer, has to be part of that conversation.
Story says residents weren't given enough opportunity to engage directly with experts before council made its decision.
These are dollars that could be used to address our housing crisis.
During Monday night's meeting, delegations highlighted both potential benefits and concerns. Supporters pointed to economic and agricultural gains, including support for the local ethanol industry.
While it is still in the very early stages, And while there are still a number of questions and even details to work out, it is the position of the Chatham-Kent Agricultural Advisory Committee that we unanimously support this project as it has been presented.
But others urged council to slow down. Former MPP Rick Nichols telling council we need to go slow to go fast.
Pun intended, haste makes waste.
Despite the debate, council ultimately voted to move forward, with several conditions still needing to be met before the project can fully proceed. Construction on the new facility is expected to start in the spring of 2027. Chris Campbell, CTV News.
If you're filling up in Windsor, Essex, there's a new development globally that could impact what you pay at the pump. CTV's Genevieve Boschman has the details.
Another plot twist in the story of gas prices' wild ride with a shakeup at OPEC. As of May 1st, the United Arab Emirates will be out of the oil exporting group, and the impact of the UAE's exit, say analysts, is still to be determined.
UAE wants to increase its output, but that's going to take time. Of course, getting into market is still a real challenge with that blockade of the Strait of Hormuz. So the volatility, unfortunately, and the sustained high prices, I think those are going to last for a while.
Well, it's going to be $200. I'm used to it at this point.
And Fizhank says he hasn't noticed the tax holiday Ottawa brought in to cushion the blow of rising costs.
Is there? There's supposed to be a tax holiday?
The excise tax holiday came into effect more than a week ago. The government estimated it would save Canadians about 10 cents a litre at the pump. But with negotiations over the Strait of Hormuz deadlocked, the price of oil worldwide has steadily risen in the past week. And so here's a look at how the tax holiday may be cushioning the blow. On April 14th, when Ottawa announced the cut, the national average was around 176 cents a litre. On April 19th, the day before the move came into effect, the price 174. April 21st, 164 cents a litre, the lowest price this month. Today, it's back up to $1.75 a litre, around 9 cents lower than the highest price this year. Now, all this as south of the border, Americans are paying the highest price at the pump in 4 years. That was in April 2022, shortly after Russia invaded Ukraine. Some drivers putting in a lot of kilometers say 10 cents a litre is small comfort.
But 10 cents is not...
But to others, anything helps as costs add up. There's still plenty of time for the price of gas to go up and down before the tax holiday ends. That's slated for September. Genevieve Boschman, CTV News, Montreal.
A lower than expected deficit and billions in new spending. The Carney government's spring economic update is out with new money for trades, sports, and affordability. CTV's Mike LeCouture has the details.
It's more than just an economic update, proposing $37.5 billion in new measures over 5 years. A part of that includes a new skills training program. The government hopes to recruit, train, and hire between 80 and 100,000 skilled tradespeople by 2031. The cost of the program is $5.9 billion.
I think what we realized is that we needed to do more. There's no doubt about that. We've seen, there's a number of programs existing, a number of government institutions that have been having different programs to help people in the trades, but we've not seen a comprehensive approach.
While the deficit was $11 billion lower this year compared to last fall's projection, the long-term outlook is largely unchanged, with no path to balance for the next 5 years. And the deficit will remain over $50 billion into the 2030-31 fiscal year.
Any kind of a savings that they get out of the revenues and the spending cuts over the next 5 years, they have decided to spend those. And some of those measures that you mentioned on the pocketbook measures, like the GST credit and those kind of things, these are how they're paying for those.
Royalties from high oil prices are contributing to government revenues, but Canada is facing fiscal headwinds from the ongoing trade war with its largest trading partner.
There's kind of a fog of uncertainty, which is clouding a lot of parts of the world. And Canada, despite all that, has been able to manage to lower the deficit and at the same time making sure we're there for Canadians.
In addition to yesterday's announcement of the Canada Sovereign Fund, there is other new spending. $755 million over 5 years to support Canada's sports system, including Olympic athletes, and $4.3 billion for Indigenous communities. There is one pocketbook measure Canadians could feel, The government is reducing the contribution rate for the Canada Pension Plan. Someone earning $70,000 per year will get to keep $133 more of their take-home pay annually. But there are few other new measures to help Canadians on a daily basis.
I think what it demonstrates is the high fiscal cost to the government of trying to introduce new pocketbook saving measures for Canadians. It is very expensive.
Pressed on that, the finance minister pointed to measures like bolstering the grocery and essentials benefit, as well as suspending the excise tax on gasoline until Labor Day, as ways the government is helping Canadians deal with the affordability crisis. Mike Lecouture, CTV News, Ottawa.
CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald has your full weather details coming up in 2 minutes' time. And still ahead, a shocking funeral home voicemail leaves a grieving husband wondering if he's been given the wrong remains. Stay with us. CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald is here with our first look at the weather tonight. And Gary, it turned out to be a pretty decent day today, but you're going to want to keep the umbrella handy for the week.
Yes. Started out with rain. We knew it was coming. Breezy day. We knew it was going to be windy. And then things did, in fact, open up nicely. A mixture of sun and cloud towards the latter stage of the afternoon. Dusk was lovely, just breezy. And will likely be breezy early tomorrow morning, just in time for the morning commute, with some more showers on the way. Today was a mild day, about 3 degrees above seasonal in terms of the daytime high, and the low, I'd probably adjust that. Probably gets down to about 12 degrees Celsius just before midnight. Now, we are in the midst of, and this was recorded earlier, this replayed satellite radar imagery, but the ridge of high pressure, that's why we got into the clearing towards the afternoon. Pleasant enough evening, but headed our ways, this area of showers and thunderstorms moving through southern parts of Illinois, headed towards Indiana. Eventually, progressions right through Michigan, and then, of course, adjacent to Michigan is the great province of Ontario, where we will see a couple of interesting things take place. Cooler air from the north will displace the system and spread it out along the Lake Erie and Lake Ontario northern shorelines. And that means we'll see the worst of it stay mostly stateside. We will get some rain shower activity and accumulations, 5 to 10 millimeters over, say, the next 12 to 18 hours. But instead of taking on a broad boundary directly, northerly cooler air will drop temperatures, and some of us may frown on that. But I think we'd rather be drier than wetter. Overnight temperatures projected pre-dawn tomorrow morning, about 8 degrees Celsius, the low. Cloudy and windy, and there's a chance of seeing some showers at around 5, maybe 6 a.m. By 8 a.m., we're looking at 9 degrees, and it's a breezy time of day. Northeasterly sustained at 20, with gusts to about 40, not 40%, 40K. And then we'll see a high of about 11 or 12 degrees towards the afternoon. Showers still a possibility Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. The next 6 days, we're going to be cloudy, that's for sure, and temperatures aren't going to be in the mid to upper teens or low 20s. The colder air mass dominates and will be nurtured. And even the lows could be at the freezing mark or below come Friday morning, Saturday morning. Next week, this time, we'll recover mid to upper teens, where we should be, statistically speaking, in terms of norms.
Thank you, Gary. The OPP is mourning the loss of one of its own tonight as tributes grow for Sergeant Brendan Malcolm, killed in a crash near Cobourg. CTV's Sean Leathong reports.
The loss of OPP Sergeant Brendan Malcolm is being felt here at the Northumberland Detachment in Cobourg, a place he called home for nearly 6 years, seeing cards and flowers today.
Because I just felt bad of what happened last night, and I just felt like I wanted to drop some flowers off.
It's heartbreaking, it's sad.
I think it's an opportunity to
say the sorts of things that we probably should say on a daily basis, how much we appreciate the police and their dedication to keeping us safe.
Ian McFarland dropped off a card this afternoon to express gratitude along with sorrow.
Bottom line is he's a member of the police community, of our community, and we've lost a good man.
5:30 yesterday afternoon, OPP received a call for a single vehicle crash along the 401 just west of Coburg. Sergeant Malcolm was pronounced dead on scene. As a procession of officers lined up last night to show their respect, OPP Commissioner Thomas Carrick spoke of the loss.
His career goal was to become a police officer. He had been an auxiliary member with Toronto Police, a member of the Canadian Armed Forces, and in 2020 he joined the Ontario Provincial Police.
Brandon was with the OPP for just under 6 years. He was a recruit previous to coming to Northumberland Detachment. He was a member of the Golden Helmets Precision Riding Team.
The Golden Helmets are a skilled OPP motorcycle team.
They're the highest trained and most capable motorcycle riders we have in policing.
According to the OPP, the single vehicle crash remains under investigation, while there was also a secondary crash involving police nearby with no serious injuries. No cause has been given for either. Today, the president of the Ontario Provincial Police Association says mental health supports are being offered to colleagues, while members of the community say they are feeling this grief.
Hits close to home like that, it affects everybody, right?
It's rare. In fact, it's not occurred in the 13 years that I've been living here.
It's so sad to hear that there's no evidence of another vehicle. It's very bewildering.
The Provincial Police Association says they're connecting with Sergeant Malcolm's family in the Maritimes.
Shatlin Thong, CTV News.
In Toronto, the TSX fell 234 points today. In New York, the Dow lost 26. The Nasdaq dropped 223. The Canadian dollar is down more than 1/3 cent. On commodity markets, gold lost more than $85 an ounce. Oil gained $3.56 a barrel. CTV News Windsor has launched a newsletter helping you start your day with the latest local news. By signing up, you'll get direct local content straight from CTV Windsor to your inbox, including top stories, the forecast, and videos. You can sign up at ctvnewswindsor.ca. In Detroit, a grieving husband says a shocking voicemail from a funeral home has left him wondering if he could be given someone else's ashes instead of his late wife's. NBC's Noelle Friel has the story.
Curtis Robinson says his late wife passed away from complications from lupus on April 12th. He says they were still legally married despite being separated. And as her next of kin, he asked Butler Funeral Home for her death certificate and a portion of her ashes.
I just told the funeral home that her sons could plan the funeral. I didn't want to, interrupt with them burying their mother. I just wanted the death certificate and some of her ashes.
Last week, co-owner Sharita Butler called him to set up a time for him to come in to sign cremation paperwork. It starts as a normal voicemail.
Hi, Mr. Robinson. This is Miss Butler calling from Butler Funeral Home.
But then, after she seems to think she hung up, she's heard telling another employee to give him someone else's ashes if he asks for them again.
As far as the ashes, don't bring up the ashes again, but bring up the ashes or whatever. That's fine. I'm just going to give him somebody else's ashes. If we got some ashes back here that need to be disposed of, I'll just give those to you.
Very unsettling, kind of made me feel real sad, stressed out that I couldn't trust the funeral home with giving me any of my wife's ashes like I asked for.
We spoke with Butler on the phone, who tells us she was caught in family drama. She said his wife's sons didn't want him to have the ashes, and she was trying to keep the peace.
I was just really processing. I was throwing stuff out, if it get down to it, if they get, if it gets ugly, is really what I was thinking. Maybe I could do that. I don't know. But I hadn't really decided.
That's not something that you can do as a funeral home, is it? To tell somebody that this is their loved one's ashes and give them somebody else's?
No, and that's why I had not done that. I have never done that, and I had not done that. It was just something it was a discussion that was happening. That's it.
She says she did her best to apologize.
I told him that when the ashes come back, he can come here and he can watch me put them into an urn. I purchased him a little keepsake urn to put the ashes in.
Robinson says that apology fell on deaf ears.
If they said that to me, how many other people have they done like this or treated like this?
Discussion here at Windsor City Hall.
Windsor's top stories.
A major project is about to get underway.
Breaking news alerts.
Severe weather is a possibility.
And watch live.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us.
Download the CTV News app.
CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald is back with a look at the 7-day forecast. And Gary, temperature-wise and precipitation-wise, I guess it's all downhill for the rest of the week from here.
It depends on your perspective, Travis. Now, if you're a gardener and you're doing some landscaping, if you're a grower, and thank you for your service, putting good food, nutritious fruits and vegetables and the like on our tables throughout Ontario and Canada. Thank you. And you welcome the rains. It's growing season after all. Showers and cooler than seasonal temperatures. Our average high today, 16.4 degrees Celsius. We will be below 16 degrees going forward for at least the next 6 days. It will be rainy tomorrow morning and windy. And then it's all about mostly cloudy conditions and a slight risk of seeing some showers. I shouldn't say risk, slight probability rather, 30 to 40%. So keep the umbrella nearby is a good way to go. Wherever you are, have a good night's rest. Enjoy your weather. I'll see you tomorrow. Good night.
Thank you, Gary. Finally tonight, as the World Cup gets closer, Adidas is giving fans and their four-legged friends a new way to show their colors. The sportswear giant is rolling out a new line of pet jerseys inspired by national team kits. So now your dog can match your game day gear, and if your pup prefers chasing the ball to wearing it, matching mini soccer balls will be available too. That's our time for tonight. I hope you'll join us tomorrow. For now, I'm Travis Fortnum. Take care.